All right, well, it's time for a Tasting Tuesday. Today, we're going to do a blind of these four glasses right in front of me. Gonna let you know what I think about them. Going to give them a score, and we're going to see who comes out on top. All right, well, welcome back. I've got A, B, C, D in front of me. My wife went ahead and poured all four glasses. On the screen, you're going to see what I'm drinking as I drink it, but I have no idea what's in these glasses. So like I said, I'll score them, I'll give you my feedback, and then we'll see who comes out on top. So on this first one, okay, I get a light cherry on the nose. Maybe a little bit of a, almost like a cherry pie. Not that I like cherry pie, but that's what I'm getting. All right, let's go in. All right. Let me get one more. So I do get a little bit of proof on the taste. I would think this is probably 115 to 120 proof for glass A. I get more of an apple almost on the taste. I don't really get a lot of that cherry. Could be wrong, but I feel like it's a little bit older. I do get a lot more of a, almost like a darker oak. Considering the proof, it goes down pretty good, pretty easy. But let me go ahead and write down what a score. Could I tell you what it is? No, definitely not. But I'd say this is probably about a 7.0 for me out of a scale of 10. Just for fun, I'd put this at about 115 to 120 proof. Ultimately, as a 7, it's good. I drink it, I definitely pour it, no issues. Almost get a little bit of a, just on that small taste, another light fruit, like a pear almost. All right, let's go ahead and go to B. Not that I should be looking at the color, but this one looks kind of light. Oh, this one smells a lot lighter. It's bready. It's funny. I almost feel like I get strawberry Pop-Tart on this one. Let's go in for the taste. This one drinks like it's probably 90, 95 proof. Very easy to drink, a lot easier than A. Get a little bit of that breadiness on the taste. Maybe a little bit of a black pepper. It doesn't come in through a lot, but I do get a little bit of a pepper. that Pop-Tart doesn't really come through on the palate, but maybe there's a slight strawberry note, but nothing like the nose. I don't know if it's maybe because this is just that much easier to drink. I'm not liking it as much as A. I tend to go more towards stuff with a little bit more proof. It's definitely easy to sip on. And then really on that back end is where that almost like a leathery taste comes in. But again, it's good. I would probably go for A over B. So I'm going to give this probably a 6.5. Again, I'd say this is 90 to 95 proof. Might be a little bit more, possibly 100, but I don't think it's that hot. All right, let's go to C. Again, another dark fruit note on the nose. A little bit of almost like a tobacco type note on the nose. This one I get the tobacco note on the palate. It's got a little bit of a cinnamon note in there. Very light on the cinnamon. And then on the finish, I get a little bit of a tart. I can't put my finger on the what fruit specifically, but it is kind of a tart, and a little bit more of that tobacco. I don't know. I probably would say that's my number 2 at this point. So just because of my other scores, I'm going to give that a 6.75. I'd say that's probably about 100 to 105 proof. Again, could be totally off on these proofs. Could be totally off on the tasting notes. Again, everybody's, the way they taste, what they smell is always going to be different. But that's what I'm getting as of right now. So let's go into D. Let's go into the last one. Okay, this one I definitely get cinnamon on the nose. Maybe a brown sugar, so a little bit more of that darker cinnamon brown sugar on the nose. And that brown sugar comes in on the palate, definitely. A little bit of citrus as well. And this one, not that I think the proof is a lot, but it definitely hits. But I almost think that it hits a little bit more than maybe the proof is. and it's not one of my favorite notes because I'm not a big fan of it, but I do get a little bit of banana as I taste it on the palate. Unfortunately, this might end up being the lowest just because of that banana note. Makes me think, again, could be totally wrong, makes me think this is a Jack Daniels bottle just because of that banana note. Alright, so I'm going to give that a 6.0. I'm going to say that's probably, just because it might be hitting more than I think, I'm going to give that about 110 to 115. Don't mind my dog in the background if you can hear him. Alright, so as of right now, before we go to the results, I think I liked A the most, 7.0. I like C next, 6.75. B, a 6.5, and then a D is 6.0. Now, I'm still working on these scores and how I want to score it. 0 out of 10. So this doesn't necessarily dictate like, oh, they're just above average, so they're not great. They're not quite 7.5 or 8 or 9. This is kind of just what I'm going with now. So let's go ahead and see what we're working with. Oh, wow. Okay, I was way off. No way. Okay, so in first place, at 7.0, the first one, it is a Subtle Spirits Purple Rain 7-year, 117 proof. Hey, I said 115 to 120. I'll take that. This was one that actually someone that started, why am I drawing a blank? H.K. Young, one of the guys that started H.K. Young, who has had a good relationship with the Night Stalkers, and specifically the Night Stalker Bourbon Hound group. He was doing some picks with Subtle Spirits, so there was a few picks that he did, and he made it available for the Night Stalker Bourbon Hounds. So this is one of those picks that he did from Subtle Spirits, 7-year, 117 proof. All right, C. C was Penelope. It was a Penelope pick, but it was the Bourbon Junkies pick that they did. It's a 10-year, 112.9 proof. I said that it was 100 to 105, so I was a little off on that. But this is the Bourbon Junkies Penelope. I'm guessing it is then the Estate Collection Penelope. Great bottle. 112 proof. 10 years old. Then my B was, this is a little surprising, and I'm a little disappointed on what D is, and I'll get to that in a second. But B was actually Blanton's, was my Blanton's. So B was, which came in third place, was regular old 93 proof Blanton's. And then D, and this actually kind of hurts, because a regular of this is kind of my go-to everyday pour, but this is Elijah Craig 129 proof 11 year. So I believe since it's the 11 year, I think this is the C 924. Let me double check. It's right here. So, oh no, this is the C 924. So I just did a video of this last week, a C 924 versus C 925. So that kind of hurts that that's actually in last place. But hey, the tasting is what matters. And so again, A, Subtle Spirits, a Night Stalker Bourbon Hounds pick, 7-year, 117 proof. C, Penelope Estate Collection Bourbon Junkies pick, 112.9 proof. And then B, which was regular Blanton's. And then D, the Elijah Craig C 924, 129 proof, 11 year. Again, these types of blinds, these types of things are always going to surprise you. you always think you know what's going to happen, and then when you see the results, it ends up being totally different. So happy with Subtle Spirits being my number one. Surprised with some of the other ones. Have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you're coming on here and you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and subscribe, like the video, and don't forget, toast to valor, savor the spirit. I'll see you next time.